Married to Medicine, LA, season 2, episode 5. Y'all really starting to break my nerves. Let's get into it. So it opens up with little shots of the ladies. We have Shanique that's trying to Google something, and she gets frustrated because she's saying she doesn't have access, but I figure she doesn't really have what it takes to figure out what she's looking for, so she gets frustrated and shuts down her computer. Then we have Dr. Britton, who's on mommy duty, of course. Imani, she's brainstorming with a couple people, looks like on a Zoom presentation about a book she's getting ready to release. And so they end the montage with Dr. Kendra. And we're at Dr. Kendra's home, and Jasmine shows up. And so I think Jasmine is trying to help Dr. Kendra get it back together. You know, after you have a baby, you're kind of, out of shape. You're missing who you are. Because Dr. Kendra tells us that she used to play tennis. She was an avid tennis player. And, she was always active, always doing things. She went to school. She went to med school. Then she did her residency. Then she had her baby. All that, getting married, the stress and strain of everything took her from a size 6 when she was playing tennis to a size 16. And she just kind of wants herself back. So you see Jasmine in her pantry saying, oh, you can't eat this, you can't have this, you can't do this, you can't do that. And she's like, Jasmine is really going at Kendra. Kendra's like, got this look like, girl, don't play with me. I want my Oreos and I'm going to get them. And she was like, look at this stuff. It's not good for you. Why are you eating these things? And so to me, it was just really, really funny. And then we find out that the reason why Jasmine is the way she is, very fit, has a really nice body, is that she used to do professional bodybuilding and sculpting. So she was in a lot of competitions, and she talked about how she really pushed herself. She was like, you don't get this body just from doing nothing. And I mean, the girl's body is tight. I always wonder why she seems so solid. And she was like, she kickboxes, she does this, she does that. She was telling Dr. Kendra, you can. She was like, I gained 35, 40 pounds when I had my baby, but I worked to get myself back to where I was. And Dr. Kendra had this look like, girl, please, you ain't gained no 45 pounds and got that back naturally. But that's a whole nother topic. So, and Kendra was like, I just, want to get back to me. And Jasmine was like, you have to do this, you have to do that. And so my thing was, Jasmine, you got a rich husband that live over in Coconut Grove somewhere. Y'all got a house that look like a drug dealer house, Prairie money, and you around here talking about you doing real estate. Girl, you ain't got nothing but time but to go in the gym, kickbox, do this. Like they said, we doctors. And like Britton said, first episode, yeah, y'all do have time to ride around on bikes and scooters and stuff and go out to lunch. But I'm a doctor. I got real stuff to do. So that just shows you right there that I don't think this whole thing with this exercise with Jasmine and Dr. Kendra gonna work out well. So we move on to Imani and Britton, and they're trying to get the kids out the house and do things with the kids. Britton's husband has gone back to Florida to handle some business, and then you have Imani, her husband is out creating a new business idea and launching their brand. And so they're there with the children. They're trying to give the children play dates and something other to do. So they go to a museum, and they're just showing all these different pictures, and they're interpretive pictures. And so they have one picture where it's a lady's body and her breasts are made out of glass. And so they were like, I wonder why her breasts are made out of glass. And Dr. Imani's son, Idris, said because they are fragile. And it was like, correct. And I just thought that was so beautiful because he was able to interpret the picture and understand what they were saying, like the breast cancer, they're fragile, they give life. Because we feed our children from them. And, you get breast cancer and you can, if you lose a breast, it's fragile to a woman's ego and who she is as a woman. So it was a lot to be taken from that. And Idris did a beautiful job of describing it. And I was so proud of that young black man. And so they had one where it had Kevin Hart and had all these people and all these different hands and different things going on. And they didn't understand what it was, and Dr. Britton said, you have to look closely because it says, hands up, don't shoot. And so they got to talking about, what's going on in today's society. And Dr. Britton was talking about how having a young black man in today's society, her son and Dr. Imani, of course, it really brought home today what's going on with the rioting and different things to that effect. And I'm going to do a video on that. But it just brings a lot of stuff home. And then Imani gets an opportunity to talk about her first encounter of racism. And she was in, I think she said she was in elementary school. And a girl pushed her and called her the N-word. And she got up and she fought the girl. But like she said, of course, I was the one who got in trouble. She said, and I could have, and they chastised her. And she said, and one thing she knew she was not going to do was cry. She said, because if I cried, I knew I would have given them the power. And then they would have felt like they won. And she said, I wasn't going to give them that. And that's a powerful statement. Because, you know, Imani talks about how she was talked about. You know, she was tall for her age. She was darker skinned. And so she had her issues growing up. And I just thought that was really powerful because she had to hold that in just to not give them the pleasure of knowing you put me down and you got me at my lowest and now you've broken me. So that was really a telltale sign of, you know, kind of like what's going on today. But like I said, we'll do that in another video. And I just like the fact that how Dr. Britton and Dr. Imani, Dr. Britton was like, our black history is everything. And meaning black history is black history, which is our history. We're the beginning and we're the end. Everybody else is the in-between. And so regardless of how you try to wipe us out, regardless of how you try to take things that we've done and use it against us or for our good or for our bad, we're still history. And there's nothing you can take from it. So that was a really powerful teaching moment, and I'm glad that they did it. So then we move on to Kendra, and Leah decided to meet to have lunch. Oh, so Dr. Kendra, I really think Dr. Kendra is having an identity crisis because she shows up and she's like, I really want to talk to you, and I really, you know, about the Halloween party drama. And Kendra, you know, she's like, I think that you and Shanique, Leah, y'all need to meet together and y'all need to squash this. I want us to move on from it and I want us to get over it. But I really feel like Kendra's issue is not Leah and Shanique. It's the fact that, well, let me put it like this. Her issue is not Leah and Shanique issue going at each other. I think Kendra has a deeper issue with both of the ladies, because when you think about it, both of the ladies, Shanique was supposed to be her friend, but Shanique was a part of the laughter Kiki behind her back. And Leah is just coming into the group and they're getting to know each other, and Leah Kiki, and for those two to Kiki on the same thing, which is Kendra, her identity crisis right now, the weight, the look, the baby, the husband, the not going back to work. I think Kendra is saying, I want to put it to rest. But I really feel like underlying, Kendra is really having an issue with both of these ladies about the same issue. And she's trying to get them to hash it out because she doesn't want to have to address it. So if you can follow me on that, just keep watching. I think that Kendra is going to come to a point where she has to check both of those ladies in that issue and in that moment, because know that Kendra is always saying, I'm good, I'm fine with who I am, but you over here got Jasmine trying to help you lose weight, but yet you still trying to do stuff to take the light off of you and your insecurity. So I think that's going to play a big part. So she invites Leah and Shanique to a winery, and she wants them to sit down and kind of, you know, get together and be like, we need to discuss this, we need to talk about this. And like I said, I really don't think that the issue is Leah and Shanique, because they vibe with each other, honestly, because later on we'll see that they vibe with each other. And I think Kendra's going to be seen to be the odd person in that little triangle, and it's going to come back and bite her. So Shanique is at Jasmine's house. So they're talking about their energy and their chakra has been off and this, that, and that. It is so funny because they're saying, we're not in sync with the Boxy twins. Remember the emojis coming out the mouth? When they get together, it's just so 90210 Beverly Hills. Like, oh my God, I missed you. I'm like, girl, y'all like 30. I ain't sit down somewhere and quit acting like y'all some 16-year-olds. Y'all doing the most. You doing too much. You doing too much. They just, when they get together, I be like, oh my God. You know, you be want to just strangle them. And I see Imani's frustration, and I see Leah's frustration, because trying to talk to them two is kind of like womp 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 womp. So they in there and they're talking, And it's a pointless conversation. My genre, my chakra is off, my this, my that. And so they even trying to use big words. You know, she's like, I got this stone and it cures, you know, it helps with your energy. And Jasmine is trying to pronounce the word. And I was like, girl, just give it up. You cute now, but you ain't the brightest crayon in the box. So let it be. And it just shows that when Imani, it reminds me of Dr. Heavenly when she goes at Toya. Dumb Toya, this, that, other. And I ain't calling no female, no black woman dumb, because we are smart and we are creative and we can evolve out of anything. But when you're talking to Shanique and Jasmine, you feel sorry for them because their intellect level is just way beneath Imani and even Leah. And they just, you can tell that's the conflict. The conflict is y'all are beneath me. Y'all can't even have a civil conversation. I'm tired. Just like when Jasmine ordered a salad with no dressing. Oh, I don't eat seasoning on my food. It's like, girl, just keep that to yourself. You know how you sound. So I get it. I get it. So while they're at Jasmine's house, you know, Shanique had to do a report back to her husband, Robert, on why should she get a job as a realtor. So she has a whole PowerPoint presentation. This is just so funny to me because I don't understand. But I guess her husband knows her. And she's probably kind of flaky. And he probably knows you'll jump from this, and that to this, and that. And I always end up holding back. No, I finally got you settled in a job. You're going to stay right here. So in order to leave this job, you got to tell me why. So it was so funny because she was presenting it to Jasmine. And Jasmine came from I was like, okay then, Jasmine came with the fire. She was like, do I keep my comments to after your presentation? She was like, yeah. So Jasmine was like, okay, well, why do you want to do this? The pros, empire, we can build. The cons, I'll be away from the family, loss of income. And then Jasmine was like, wait a minute, how you going to be away from the family? So what you trying to say? How you going to get in a market that's already saturated? So you telling me you don't like being married to me as your husband, so you want something that's going to take you away from your... She was going in on Shanique, and Shanique was like, hold on, wait a minute, sir. You doing too much for these cameras. And she was like, no, I'm giving you the realization of what your husband is going to bring to you. And if you really want this, you're going to have to be able to answer these questions. I give Jasmine a round of applause, baby, because I was like, okay, Bobsy twin number one, you did that. She had a point, and I get it. And Shanique's husband is not playing with her. And if she can't come to the table with something solid and giving him the reason on why or why not, she gonna be stuck right where she at, doing what she doing, and being a wife and a mother to him and those kids, and being a homebody, and that's just the end of the story. So your Toya lifestyle gonna be what it is. You're gonna be stuck right here with these kids and me, and you're gonna do what I tell you to do, and you're gonna have to cook the bacon, have to go pick up the bacon, bring the bacon home, fry it up in the pan, serve it to me, and then clean the dish when you through. So I don't know, Shanique, it ain't looking too good for you. So Imani is talking to her mom, and they're just talking about, well, Imani is talking to Idris, Imani's son, and they are half Japanese and black. And so her mother had some tea she brought back, and she was explaining to her son about the culture and the tea and how they preserve it, how they prep it, and the reason why and what it's supposed to do. And it was very educational. So come to find out that her mom did this ancestry test she hired some people, and the money said it was 25 of them. They went back over to their motherland, to Japan, to where Imani's grandmother. So Imani's mother's mother was Jamaican and half Japanese, which was very interesting. And so her mother went back over, and they found their family lineage and traced it back. They had their crest, and her mom, the crane on the crest, she was able to explain it and why the feathers were elongated. And her grandfather was full Japanese. So I don't know if they found the lineage on him, or was it the mother, or both. But I just thought that was so powerful, because we as black people, we create all things. And to be able to trace back where you come from, because a lot of us will say, oh, we should trace back to Africa, but know that when we were separated from Africa and sent here and traded here and sold here, and you know, our bloodline just spread and created what we call this universe of the world. So we are from everywhere, and just to be able to go back and find a piece of who you are and where you came from was very telling, and it was very emotional. So we have Imani still talking to her mom about being you know, a grand marshal. They're going to New Orleans, her and Brittany and Contessa. They all went to Xavier together, and so they grew up together, and they have this kind of friendship where the city of New Orleans is recognizing them. So they're going to be on a float. They're going to, you know, she didn't know what a grand marshal was. She was like, I'm supposed to be throwing stuff at people. And her mom's like, no, you're giving things out. It's a difference. You're not going to pick up a rock or beat it, throw it at somebody. You're going to say, oh, hey, how you doing? So it was funny. And her mom was talking about her marriage, Imani's marriage to her husband. Imani was like, I kind of miss him, but I don't. She was like, you know, it's simple things around here. She was like, just taking my son to school. I have to do that now. And she talks about the trials of being a single mother. And her mother was like, well, you know, that's something y'all need to discuss. She was like, you need to, you know, miss your husband, having your husband here. And she was like, yeah, I kind of miss him, but, you know, we don't even have to stay in the same house. And she asked her mom how she felt about this. She said, now, you know, kind of being in separate rooms is one thing, but I'm not finna be in a separate household and be married. And so Imani was like, And Imani let us know that I just don't even tell my mom a lot of things because I don't want to hear her mouth or deal with her sarcasm. But Imani said it was 2 to 3 years before she even told her mama she was married. The producers was like, you kidding me? You didn't tell your mother for 2 to 3 years that you and your husband was married? She was like, That tells me a lot about Imani. Is she just a person that likes a look or an appearance of things, and then she just goes along with it because that's what's expected? Because I feel like her and her husband don't have that connection like fire. You know, like, ooh, when it sparks flying. She's like, I can do it with him and I can do it. I'd rather have him here for the manual labor. I'd rather have him here for what a man is supposed to be here for. But all that other stuff, I'm good. If I don't have to sleep in a bed with him, if I don't have to have sex with him, we ain't got to be in the same house, I'm fine. But I'm happy with saying I got a husband. My son has a father. We do things as a family unit. But when it's time for me to do what I want to do, quad, you know, then I'm like that. So, okay, money. Don't pull it on Miss Quad and get on this show. Get to smelling yourself, as my grandmama said, and then you mess around here, and 2-3 seasons later, you in divorce court talking about where did it all go wrong. Keep playing if you wanna. Keep playing. You thinking you in separate houses and you like that idea. Just wait till it happens. So let's move on. Shanique and Leah arrive at the winery. They both look alike. They got on yellow dresses, a chain purse, same type of sandals, styles, and all this. And it's so awkward. They're like, okay, where's Kendra? Come on, Miss Kendra, let's get this going. It's like, And Leah's like, yeah, let me check my phone too. And it's like, crickets. So they can't even like make it work. So finally they break silence and try to have a little small talk, and then come to find out that they have a lot of stuff in common. And they also have a daughter. Both daughters are named Kayla. And so it's like, oh, it's amazing. You know, we came dressed alike. We have daughters with the same name. You know, we may not be that bad. Know now that Leah and Kendra have hung out. Not Kendra, I'm sorry. Leah and Shanique have hung out because evidently they know a little bit about each other because they're in there talking about Kendra together. So finally, about an hour later, Kendra shows up. So what Kendra was doing was trying to get them an opportunity to talk and work through some stuff. But they weren't trying to do that because you called this meeting. It's different if they had called. That's just like me saying, girl, let's get together and kick it and let's talk this thing through. Then when we get there, we both have an agenda of what we're going to talk about. Kendra, you invited them. So you have the agenda. You have the proposal. You know what you want to do. You know what you want to say. So you're not there. The girl's like, well, you know, it is what it is. We'll just wait till we get here, whatever. So when Kendra gets there again, Kendra in this got to prove herself. She has the air fighter uniform on that both of them talked about. I'm telling y'all, Kendra's issue is with both of those ladies. Those two ladies are good. Cause they make up. Shanique gives her energy thing out of her breast. It's sweaty and crusty. She like, oh, what you pulling out your titty, girl? Yeah, here you go. And they go, oh, and they make up, and they good with each other. The world is in sync. Our chakras are back in sync, and we good to go. And you got Kendra sitting there like, my job, well done, my job. No, because I'm going to tell you, they was going to be all right anyway. Because once Shanique threw Leah under the bus, and Leah came back and threw Shanique on the bus, they both knew. Because I'm going to tell you something. Shanique might talk that, but she know not to go at Leah. Jasmine went at Leah because Jasmine ain't got two cents up here. So Shanique knew I ain't finna go there because I already know how her and Imani rolled. That's why her husband was like, you need to bring your butt on. We finna go. I ain't got time to play with you. You do this again, me and you gonna have a big problem. I told you to go high. You went lower. We not finna do this. We not finna do this. Shanique and Leah gonna be okay. I'm telling you, the issue is Kendra. Kendra got this self-esteem issue going on, and she's gonna snap, and then she's gonna go off. I'm telling you, she's gonna go off, and it's gonna come back, and it's gonna be a big issue between her. It's gonna be Leah, Kendra, and Shanique. But Leah and Shanique gonna be on the same team. Watch what I tell you. So we get over there. Brittany gets a call from her husband. He's talking about her getting ready to go out of town with Contessa and Imani. They're going to New Orleans. Then we see Contessa. She's Skyping and she's recording, showing she's getting ready for New Orleans. And so you see them meet up and they get to New Orleans. And they're talking about how, you know, as college students, how hard it is to survive and things like this. And shoot, Brittany let it be known. She was like, I'm from Chicago. We was poor. As a matter of fact, we was po, P-O. She said, I was on food stamps. I ate real good while I was in. So, you know, a lot of people probably view Brittany as, oh, she's this little mixed girl. She's pretty. She could pass for white, this. Brittany's down to earth. She was like, girl, I was struggling. My family, we didn't try to be no more than what we were. We were scratching and surviving, good times, hanging in the child line, make that the food stamp line. And so she was like, so, you know, Xavier showed us a real reality. And even Imani was talking about, she grew up, you know, and in her demographics, she grew up, I think, in Harlem. And when she went to school, she said that most of the kids she went to school with, it was predominantly white. And then when she came home, it was with black kids, but she didn't socialize as much with the black kids. So when she got to Xavier and saw that everybody was black, she was like, okay, everybody here black. And, you know, she was like, yep, you black, you black, you black, you black, we all black. And she was like, it was a cultural shock for her because the way she talked, and because they said she walked around like she was this grand diva, you know, and I can tell, she said, I walk just like I do today. And they was like, yeah, and that was the problem. You 8 feet tall walking around here and you noticeable. People see you. And so you had this aura about yourself. And then she realized, okay, black people don't respond to that. And so it was a cultural shock for her, being a black girl, coming down south, New Orleans, and then, okay, this is something totally different. So she was like, it had to all kind of revert for me. So Imani and Brittany, they're getting ready, they're getting dressed, get ready to head out for the night. So they talk again about we can go out, we can order whatever we want. So they're sitting down and they're talking about, they talk about Imani's son. And her husband's situation is the whole conversation. And Imani's son, Idris, is not her husband's. And so she said that she was a second-year residency, and she met her son's father, and he just was not ready. It didn't work out. And he was still a baby when she met her husband. And he stepped in and became the man she needed, what she needed at the time, a father. What did I just tell y'all? She liked the idea of normality, which is a nice home, the picket fence, the child, the father in the household, the mother. But if I can just get that and not have all that extra stuff, you have your own room. I got my Lucille Ball show, we sleep in separate beds, then I'm fine. As long as it look good on the outside, I really, Quad, Miss Quad, okay, looking good on the outside, and Quad her husband, they slept together 8 years. Okay, keep on playing, money. Your husband gonna see this. Keep on playing. He ain't rushing back to you for a reason, because they even talk about, you know, did you tell your husband that you miss him? And then she was like, yeah, he knows I miss him. And so they was like, he's not willing, you're not willing to travel. Well, my schedule won't let me travel. And so then Brittany's like, your schedule won't, well, is he willing to come to you? And she was like, well, she said, well, did you tell him you missed him? And she was like, yeah, I told my husband I missed him. And then Brittany's like, well, did you tell him you want him to come home? She's like, well, I ain't say all that, because she don't want all that. She wants the look that everything is good. Just like her mom said, the only man that you really ever, your first love, your father, he dropped you. Imani talked about how her dad used her to destroy their marriage with her mother. That's why she left home right after high school, because he used her as an alibi when he went to cheat on his wife. When she was an adult, he would say, I'm going to see Imani. Imani, tell your mom I'm with her. And he over at his other woman's house. When she was a younger girl, he would take her. And then she said, and that hurt me. That broke my mother. That broke our home. And she said, that's why I left. She said, the first opportunity I got, I was out the door. I get it. And Imani has issues with men, because I think she is not even that attached to her husband, because she, number one, doesn't trust men. She probably thinks he's like her dad. You know, he's taking care of home, doing everything that needs to be done. But then on the outside, it look good on the outside, but truly deep down on the inside, she doesn't have a strong sense of love for that man, because she never got it from her father, and she was betrayed. So she's always looking for a sense of betrayal from her husband. And that's why she's never really locked in. Go on, girl, preach. I hear you. What it look like I'm doing? Amen. Okay. So, Imani, you little Miss Psychiatrist, you need to go talk to somebody yourself, because you got a good man, Sophia. He's a good man to you, but you want to treat him like he's trash. What's that? A clean up woman is a woman who, okay, keep on playing. So, Brittany was just trying to tell her, look, I've been there. Me and my husband went through that last year. We're still dealing with the fact that my son is in our bed, and her husband, they go to him and Shanique's husband talking, and they're talking about the baby, the son in the bed. The daughter moved out. She's very independent now. She's sick of all of them. But the son is still in there, and Shanique's husband is like, I felt as if it was guilt, because I worked a lot of hours. I never saw the kids, so when I came home, they wanted to spend time with us, so I let them in the bed. But then it got too much, and I had to step up and put them out. He said Shanique was the problem. He said, so do you think that Brittany is the problem? And Brittany's husband's like, yeah, she's more so the problem than me. And Brittany's like, well, I like my kids to be in the bed with me, and that's not a good thing. He was like, I had to, Shanique's husband, like, I just had to put my foot down, like, mom and daddy need mom and daddy time. You got to go. He said, and it was hard in the beginning, but eventually they got used to it and got over it. So Dr. Brittany and her husband at her impasse, because it's not that they just sleeping in the same room. The son literally puts the dad out. Like the last episode, he was like, okay, bye, dad. Get out. He walked the daddy to the door and closed the door. And I was like, Brittany. So, Brittany, you ain't the best person to give advice to on this. But I can see you giving advice to Imani, because you don't want her to go down the same road. But both of y'all need help, and talking to each other ain't gonna help. And Contessa didn't really have no input, because Contessa almost lost her husband last season on Married to Medicine, Atlanta, because you want to go off, live your best life, go to school, do this, live in Nashville in a separate home, and your husband was about to tell you, you can go and stay at that house, and me and the kids gonna do whatever we need to do. You pay me child support, and I see you later. So that's kind of where they end at dinner. Because Imani got a little perturbed at Brittany. Because Imani almost want to tell her, baby, you can't tell me nothing. Your husband, you ain't sleeping in the same room with your husband somewhere now, cross country, and you worry about what I'm got going on. And you know, Brittany was like, I know she might be a little pissed at me, but she'll be alright. So that's all I have, guys. It's still slow. And I get it, but I need them to come on. I don't need the petty beefs. But like I said, keep watching Dr. Kendra. She got it in her, and it's going to come out. Let's stay focused, guys. Creative Concepts is back. We are no longer under restriction. We're quarantining. We can go out. We had our first event this weekend, and bravo to my staff. We did a graduation party. So if you want to book Creative Concepts, we travel. We do all types of things. Weddings, receptions, we have drapery, we do uplighting, we do everything, throne chairs. Check out my website, guys, www.creativeconcepts.events.com. You can also check me out on Facebook at Creative Concepts Events, as well as Instagram at the one and only Creative Concepts. Let's not forget COVID-19, guys. Let's play our part. But that's all I have for you guys. Let's stay safe, and let's uplift our brothers and sisters during this hard time with the riots. And let's also beware of our surroundings as we go out. Thank you, guys.